What's going on, guys? My name's Spence,
And I'm Mitch.
and we're two brothers that really love King of the Hill. And today we're delving into the fourth episode in the series, Hank's Got the Willies. And I don't know about you, but this is what I would consider to be the first probably bad episode in the series. There's a couple reasons as to why, but I'm interested to hear your take on it.
I really like this episode, actually. I'm a big country music fan. I'm not the biggest Willie Nelson fan, but he's up there with The Highwayman, which is one of my favorites. Yeah, and I like seeing Willie Nelson, and I like Hank and Bobby's relationship in this episode, which we're going to see coming up. And I'm interested to see why you, Spencer, aren't liking this episode.
For me, I do like what you say. I like how it develops Hank and Bobby's relationship a little bit and how they find some common ground. But personally, I think that this episode, and I get that the show is still in its infancy and it's still trying to find its legs and build its audience, right? But I feel like this is a celebrity cash grab type of episode, and it kind of goes against what the series embodies, right? The series has always been really grounded, really down to earth.
They're pretty hard on Willie in this episode, though. They aren't exactly treating him like how The Simpsons treats their guest stars today.
And I don't think they give him like too serious of a tongue job here in this episode, but it's just more about the setting of the show, right? It's what are the odds, like you as a normal person are going to run into Willie Nelson at the golf course?
At the golf course?
Yeah,
Right.
and then end up knocking him out. And then after that, you guys end up becoming kind of friends. It suspends your disbelief in this series a little bit and makes you mind, yeah, I am still watching a TV show.
Right.
It breaks the fourth wall a little bit in that sense.
I hadn't thought of that myself, but I think that you are correct there. And I believe that they did correct themselves after this episode, because I don't think that they ever did that again.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I am a little bit more lenient on this episode in particular. There are some worse examples as the series goes on, but this is only the fourth episode. They're still trying to find their feet, trying to draw in as many viewers as they can, so they can be like, Willie Nelson's in this episode, and people will be like, oh man, let's go check it out.
Oh, yeah. On a different note, though, this is the first episode you find out that Hank is a guitar player, which is frequently mentioned as the series continues.
Yeah. We also get a little bit of, I think this is the first time where we see Peggy show off her softball skills, being particularly...
Oh, yeah, that's also true. Yeah.
Being a very skilled pitcher. But yeah, that definitely comes to play later in the series, not so much right now.
Yeah, the softball episode's a classic.
I want to just say that I don't have any issue with Willie Nelson in particular. It's not that I dislike Willie or anything like that. I'm not huge into country music, but I am the kind of person who likes to keep an open mind. So maybe one day I'll come around to country music. Who knows?
Maybe you'll find something relatable.
Yeah, exactly. And when it comes to country, I really do like the stuff that I hear you and Dad listening to, the really old school blues and stuff like that.
This scene reminds me of something I did growing up.
Oh, you did something like this?
Remember I whacked the crap out of Dad's RV with a hockey stick?
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, I do. I do remember that. And
This scene reminds me of that.
you caused a lot more permanent damage. I do remember that our parents were not happy with you.
I was a destructive young lad, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was too. I had my moments too. But yeah, I do remember that instance because my parents punished me half as much as they punished you because they were like, it's your job as the older brother basically to stop him from doing shit like that. So they had to punish me as well.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, we get to learn a little bit about Hank's hero, who he claims is Willie Nelson. That's another thing I felt was weird. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't really align with the rest of the series.
usually he talks about his heroes like Tom Landry, right? Or
Ronald Reagan.
or some other Cowboys football player, some all-star player.
Troy
Aikman. Willie Nelson's a weird choice.
It is a weird choice for a Hank, especially with the dope smoking.
Yeah, that's right, because Willie was really into, and he always has been, hasn't he? He's been into legalization.
Yeah, but I think actually recently in his 90s he quit.
If you can smoke dope all your life and still live to be 90, then congratulations, I think.
I think he may take the last 10 years off. We talk about Willie's IRS trouble. I looked into that.
Oh, did you?
That's legitimate.
What happens?
His accountant ended up owing 7 million in taxes or something. His accountant missed. I don't know what happened there. And then he ended up having a concert and releasing an album and all this stuff to make money back, to pay back the IRS.
I guess the government had to get his cut.
I was just going to say, he cut a whole album called The IRS Tapes.
The IRS tapes. Oh, they literally called them the IRS tapes.
It's literally the album to raise money for his tax troubles.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that for tax troubles, just cut an album.
Yeah, that would be nice. It's probably more of a luxury to have than anything.
Anyways.
I was going to say, one thing I also looked up for this episode to see if Celery Head is real. He is not real. No, Celery Head is a made-up character, unfortunately.
It was a rip on Carrot Head.
Yeah, that's true. It's probably just a parody of Carrot Head, but I wanted to see
Yeah.
if there's really a guy who played guitar with cheese. Unfortunately, no. He's not real.
This is my favorite quote in the episode by a wide margin.
Maybe it's just first hole jitters. Got any tips, Boomhauer?
Yeah, man, I tell you what you do, man. You just keep that dang old arm straight, man. Y'all put your left hand still, man. Just speed it the hell up.
This is also one of my favorite lines here, where Bobby asks Dale who his hero is, and he says, "You, if you can get me some smokes." That's the truest words any smoker's ever said. I just realized that we're like 12 minutes into this, 13 minutes actually, and we still haven't heard or seen anything of Willie Nelson yet.
They have him for all of a half an hour to get 3 lines.
There are certain types of celebrities that when you bring on, they're hard to work in. A guy like Willie probably isn't used to voice acting so much. Someone like, remember, of course, we have famously Tom Petty enters, rest in peace, Tom, enters into the series later, and he surprises everybody. I remember reading an interview with him. He surprised everyone, including his family, like how good and how naturally he took to voice acting.
Didn't he even surprise himself?
Yeah, exactly. He surprised himself, but he's a rare case, and someone like Willie Nelson, how you fit the guy into something like this and still make it funny and real, right?
And without revolving the whole show around him because his personality is so big.
That was another genius thing about the softball episode, where the Simpsons, they brought in all of these baseball players who aren't voice actors. They aren't used to entertainment in that manner, and they all managed to make them knock it out of the park.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do like that they made Willie Nelson a gamer. I do appreciate that, being a big-time gamer myself.
I wonder if he actually is.
Yeah, maybe he probably does. He probably dabbles, especially when you got lots of free time. But yeah, I just feel if someone hit me with a golf club, I would not be as enthusiastic to be friends with them. I don't know.
Even if it was a kid?
It's true if the kid did come and was super apologetic to me and was everything like that, I'd be like, okay,
Yeah, it'd be hard
that's
not
true.
to.
Yeah, that's a good point. Of course, everyone comes and they all meet the celebrities and everything like that. And again, it's campy, but it is fun. You can kind of pick out some people in the background and stuff like that.
I called one of my best friends Rooster Boy for many years because of that scene.
Out of my way, Rooster Boy.
Then Hank gets to share his ultimate moment with his hero where they play guitar together.
It fulfills a dream.
But we never really talked about like the whole conflict between Hank and Peggy about the guitar. I feel that that's artificial. Thrown in to create conflict or kind of drama for the episode.
Have a B story.
Yeah, exactly. I also like this moment where they're just commenting on how the woman is not filling up the beer correctly, rather than anything else about her.
Yeah, you gotta appreciate guys like that. I think we're losing them in the world. And there's just Hank's little song about Peggy, which is cute.
Yeah, it is cute. It's a really nice moment when we get to see everybody come together. Overall, I feel like there's just not a lot here for this episode. On rewatch, I almost always skip it. Watching it for this project we're doing was one of the first times I'd watched it in maybe years, because I almost always skip it. I don't think I'm changing my mind on it.
I usually watch it about 3 times just to get everything, and including our watch through together. And I don't think I'm going to watch this one again for a while.
Yeah.
3 was enough.
So overall, what would be your score?
Good one-liners this episode. Do save it. And I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Wow. Okay. I'm giving it a 4. 4 out of 10.
Probably never hear me get one lower than a 5.
When watching it, I came to the conclusion that it's not one of the worst episodes, but I'm definitely going to be giving some much lower than 5s as we go forward.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
But overall, this one, I was going to give it a 3, but the scene, my favorite scene with Boomhauer and Bob Dylan saves it, gives it one more one more point.
Come play a song for me, then you change your name Zimmerman, y'all born again.
Well, a whole bunch of kids coming around, like Mad Dog, Denim, going platinum.
Once again, Boomhauer saves an episode with one of his incredible one-liners. Overall, this one is probably the first mediocre one, I would say. Truly bad for me would probably be 3. Anything 3 and below is bad. And then between 4 and 6 is mediocre. So this one's just on the cusp of being mediocre.
Made the mediocre cut.
Made the mediocre cut.
Like he glues a Kleenex box to a tennis shoe and goes, "This is in case you have a runny nose."
That's not a joke, son. That's a waste of good glue.